Hi, this is SASX10. It's been a while. Uh, the primary reason for why it's been a while is mostly because I was in my own head thinking what's worth saying. So I know my whole thing that I wanted to hear is like be serendipitous, but then there's this part of my head that says like, is this even is this even worth being serendipitous about? So that's what I think I should be talking about today. Like what's even worth saying. I mean, that's the characteristic slurp that begins the whole video. So like now we're good to go. Uh, there's been a lot of occasions where a lot of my acquaintances and I do end up talking about a whole bunch of random stuff. And in the end, it's sometimes the opposing party feels like what is the point? Every time I sort of remind them that it's good to have an intellectual discussion. It's like just like a good warm up. Uh, Even if it's not worth it, even if there's no immediate outcomes of it in terms of like do you have clarity in terms of decision making, or I don't know, are there any financial or monetary gains to be had from that conversation, or was there any new information, uh, or were you more confused at the end of it? Just engaging intellectually in something is kind of worth it. But paradoxically, for the past 3 months, uh, I have been a hypocrite myself and have been wondering. I've been having a lot of ideas, by the way, and every time I sort of think of an idea that I'll probably do this tomorrow, uh, I get in the mindset of like, yeah, no, that's not worth it. It's like doesn't suit the vibe of my channel. Like, yeah, that's not it. So I think what's worth saying is of course like I'm gonna say the most cliche answer out here. It's like context dependent. Uh, but then how does the context really change? Then that's the point to get into. Like so far, it's been what like SASX. It's SASX10. So we've been until F. So we have like F videos or like 16 videos for like the normal humans out there. So far, and 15, I think 15 videos. So this is like the 16th one. SASX0 was just a blog post, I believe. Uh, so, uh, accumulating that intellectual mass sort of makes you slowly conform to a style, to a cognitive style over time. And that is where what is worth saying, that predicate that sort of gets more opinionated, that predicate of like, is this worth it, gets more opinionated. But then when I started out with these videos, like there's nothing to back it up. And what is worth saying was like not a thing that actively roamed around in my head whenever I was discussing ideas with myself. uh, I mean, I enjoy talking to myself. I do not do it loudly. I do it in my own head. Of course, a lot of people do that. But then I actively sort of have enjoyed talking to myself and like throw around questions or like have discussions about them. So that's that. And there are a few more reasons as to like what's worth saying. So of course it's my own mentality over time. For the past 3 months, I've been up to a lot. I mean, kind of busy in a lot of different things. So conware out here is kind of a different thing that I do. It's like kind of offbeat in the sense that it's very orthogonal to all of my other pursuits. So I've been engaging deeply with my other pursuits for a while. I mean, I've had seen some. It's been a decent 3 months. Did not wish to ghost you all like this, but yeah, I mean, probably I need to like I don't know, get back into the game and be consistent with stuff. So, what's worth saying in that context is like whatever the seer or the orator, or I don't know, I think I need a more formal sort of old Greek kind of term for this. The rhetorician is trying to say is of course dependent on the whole context. That context being the environment as well as the rhetorician's mind. So my mind has been kind of occupied with with other stuff that is not that offbeat and that is kind of mainstream. That doesn't suit the vibe of the channel. That's why it's been sort of conflicting in my own head as to like how do I maintain these states of mind? How do I be this mainstream guy at one end in my daily life, and how do I choose to be offbeat, on demand, whenever I like sip coffee and in front of a camera? So that's something that I have been asking myself. Also, like when am I ready to be serendipitous? That is such an antithetical thing to do. Uh, if I have to be ready to be serendipitous, like what is the point? You're not even being serendipitous. You're like already pre-thinking a lot of stuff. So, this what's worth saying. This topic. I just chose it like a minute ago. Uh, Even before I started recording, like I set my OBS up and everything. I was going to talk about something else. It was more along the lines of like yeah, like brain rot in the sense I've been scrolling a lot recently, and I was thinking like yeah, I mean let's talk about the state of brain rot. Maybe I could do that, but then I did not do that today because I had been thinking about it for a day now. I had this idea yesterday evening. Now it's like today morning. So it's been at least 12 plus hours, and that would not be serendipity. That would be cheating you all. So yeah, the point is how do I even the first okay, so another question is like, do I even bother if it's worth saying or not? Because like if I start doing that, then that sort of disqualifies the candidates for serendipity. Serendipity probably shouldn't care what's worth it, what's not worth it. The joy in it is like discovering if it's worth it in the moment. Uh, so that's kind of that. And yeah, so what's worth saying? I am still beating around the bush. I do not quite know what's worth saying. Is this worth saying? I think if it's an active question on my mind that's been bugging me for a while and I haven't actively thought about it, that's kind of worth it. So that's one criteria. So there's this predicate of like is this worth saying or not, is kind of very fleeting in my own mind. It's kind of very fleeting in the viewer's mind as well, based on what kind of state you are in. So there's that. And yeah. So what's not worth saying is something that we could actually sort of okay. I think I could work on it by elimination. Elimination is kind of a nice, handy cognitive tactic. I used to have these cognitive tactics that I used to enlist in these last videos. So I'm going to be listing my own videos again and seeing like what I actually used to do to like pick up on patterns and stuff. But I need a healthy balance so that I do not just sort of keep on repeating myself. Uh, a higher order repetition, not an absolute repetition of ideas, but a higher order repetition of ideas in the sense that I do not just there probably should be some repetition, there should be some coherence uh, across my cognitive evolution with minor changes over time, but it should happen naturally. Like if you're hearing me after 3 months, I don't know, there probably should be a lot of changes. So that's kind of how does one even begin to think about it is the point. So how does I even like how do I even express what happened over the past 3 months without yeah, without having to like explicitly carry you through the whole thing? Because if I was talking to you daily for the past 3 months, you would see the cognitive changes. You would see my beard grow, uh, millimeter by millimeter. Uh, yeah, so that would be kind of an interesting thing. Maybe I should do these daily just to like track my cognitive state embeddings, so to say. I should probably chart out the embeddings of the transcriptions of these videos and see how they evolve over time. That'd be a fun infographic or noise graphic, or I don't know. Uh, so that's one thing. What I was getting into is what's not worth saying. So what is the border between something just being like totally random, that is like I don't know, uh, just like destructive in the sense of like is it's cognitively draining you, and like is it's probably repetition that everyone already knows, or compared to something like the say that would be like very obvious, but then there's something about it that you do not quite realize, and like bringing it explicitly to the front and examining it is kind of worth it, and it helps you understand the whole thing better and like be more aware of it. So what's the line? How do you understand like what's not worth saying? So if something is common knowledge and I'm not adding anything, and I'm not shifting any perspectives, and I'm not yeah, looking at it from different angles, or like I'm not able to present or bridge views across different perspectives, that's probably not worth saying. So that's one thing. I think I can agree that that's not worth saying. So elimination is kind of fun like that. Elimination is like you have your obvious like surelys and surely nots. Uh, so yeah, surely what's worth saying again is yeah. So again, if you're sure about something, you move in from like what's worth saying, and if you're like not sure about something, if you're like definitely sure that it's not the thing to do, then you can like move in from the other side. So you get to sort of define the predicate and make it less gray and make it more black and white over time. So uh, make it more discrete over time rather than like a more of a spectrum. So uh, then getting into the center of the spectrum, like when do I start drawing the boundaries of like what's worth saying and what's not worth saying? Does thinking about what's worth saying and what's not worth saying, is that worth saying? I believe yes. When would I believe it is not worth saying? I don't think so. I mean, to have a metacognitive ability to analyze what you're gonna cognize about, I think that's a good thing. I think that makes you a better thinker. So I think we should be doing this. So this is worth saying. So that's kind of nice. Uh, to do a higher order breaking down of tooling of cognitive tooling and like my states of mind over time, using that as examples to tie it down into abstractions that might not be explicitly that we might not explicitly be aware of. It depends in the sense that if how good are those examples, because okay, this is sort of kind of interesting. My mind is kind of cheeky in the sense that you could give me any abstraction out there and I could relate it to anything in like in a very odd and convincing manner. uh, there are times uh, I do not of course do it with you guys, but then I do it when I want to have fun with other people. I would just make up stuff. I would make up linkages for the fun of it. uh, I only do it in non-consequential inconsequential or like situations with like very minor humor oriented consequences. So that's that. So being able to so then the point is being authentic. Okay, this is important. So if you're authentic in terms of what you're thinking right now, I think it's worth saying. If you're being authentic, it's worth saying irrespective of the context. So that's one thing. Authenticity is a very strong indicator of yeah, what's worth saying. So that's kind of nice. So that is something that I realized it explicitly right now. Uh, yeah, the point that I was trying to complete is there are a lot of things that I could go on about. So a lot of examples that I could. It is that thing that people do on that corporate social media platform that starts with an L, ends with an N, where you go fishing and you learn a whole bunch about management. So that kind of stuff is yeah, like you caught, I don't know, a big catfish, and that teaches you how to I don't know, deal with whiskers in like political corporate life or something. That kind of stuff. Uh, yeah. So yep, deal with like big nosy whiskerish people in corporate life. That could be sort of a post on that sort of social media platform. I do not take names because like yeah, I mean, but of course, it's fun talking like this. I've always heard people talking like this, like making it really obvious what they're talking about, but then not really giving it away, so they're like legally safe, but then they're actually more doing more damage to the thing. But then it's fun talking like this for the first time. So that's kind of nice. That's something I noticed right now. Uh, so yeah, that kind of stuff is a trap one could fall into if they explicitly just try to churn out content. If I just wanted to like pretend being serendipitous all the time, I could do that. I could just pick up any random example and like keep on elaborating about it. But then that will be a disservice to myself more than to you, because that's just wasting my cognitive cycles. I do not wish to do that. That's not me being authentic. That's just me being pretentious. So, so yeah, that's a clear indication of like what's not worth saying. If I have to over-engineer my thoughts, if I have to over-present something, if I have to explicitly map out with details, like forcing a particular construct into another cognitive framing, that's probably not worth saying. So that's kind of nice. That's something that I figured out again. Authenticity, it was like something good that I figured out, that there's like a really strong indicator that you should say it if you feel authentic about it. Uh, yeah. Now, depending on the context, let's say we're in a formal context. Uh, I think it's worth saying something that is like explicitly obvious, but it's not explicitly, it's something that is obvious but not explicitly documented anywhere. So I think it's worth saying those things out loud. So if you're in a corporate or a legal context, always having the obviouses written down somewhere, and not just in the cognitive states, the collective cognitive states of the humans involved. I think that is a good thing. But then I think when you're being informal, when you're probably at a party somewhere, you probably don't want to be saying everything, like all the obvious stuff all the time. So that's like an explicit context based, what's worth saying, what's not worth saying. What is worth saying at a party is okay. That is okay. That is a fun thing to ask. What is even like what's worth talking about when you're like in a social setting? Uh, Me personally, I have been granted with the gift of being able to ramble about anything. If I wanted to, I could go on about anything. I've like recently discovered that I have the powers to convincingly talk gibberish uh, in a manner that says that I've read well about it. I can make expressions that I can be expressive in the sense that I can like fake expressions that make people think that I'm thinking. Uh, I've done it in the context of like having fun with some of my peers, and like it's kind of fun. So you kind of sort of throw them off in the sense that you make them believe that you do not know about something. But then when you catch them slacking is when you sort of accelerate and like start presenting ideas in a yeah. So that's kind of fun too. Hmm. Is this all worth doing though? Uh, why play this cognitive games is what I'm getting into. Uh, that is something that I'm yet to answer. There have been there have been phases in my life where I did not play these games, and when I explicitly play these games, when I have like a daily quota to play these games, and my life has been much better when I do play these games. Maybe the thing that we're talking about here, rather than being like what's worth saying, it should be like what's worth doing. Uh, what's worth doing, but then that'd be a little too far off. So let's just say what's worth doing cognitively. That's something that we can be more explicit about rather than just saying. So that covers what's worth saying, what's worth thinking, what's worth doing cognitively, what's worth like how is it worth interacting with other people. So yeah, so explicitly speaking, playing these cognitive games has kept me kind of sharp and like kept my life kind of entertaining over 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 the course of the past months or so. When I've started doing these things, it's kind of, life is kind of more interesting. It's that boring. If I'm like completely formal and if I'm like completely innocent and I'm like pretending that I am like completely honest all the time, uh, is it boring? Life is kind of boring. I mean, I like to throw in a little bit of white lies here and there where it does not matter. Where it does not matter is the key aspect of it all. So, when is it worth lying is also a very interesting question. I have these interesting questions that keep on popping up. I do capture them in my org room, and like I think I've talked about this. Like I used to do sort of thunks. So thunks is something like you delay a thought for later on. But then what happens is like they pollute the nature of the sasses. As in, like, I do not want to be having. I do not want to have thought what I was gonna think about in the moment in front of you guys. So this is like an active thinking process, like an active. I try to open up my mind out here. So and present it in like in a very explicit manner. So that's that. Uh, I'm still stuck in the past three months of like words we're talking about, what's not we're talking about. There was a big cognitive block. So I'm just recently overcoming that. So right now I'm kind of like just freeing up, but then in my own head, there's still a lot of things that I'm just like actively rejecting that I should not say this. This is not worth saying, or like this is yeah. So that kind of gets irritating because like that leads to awkward silences. So when do you decide when not to hold back? It definitely depends on the kind of person that you're talking to, and if they're like a no bullshit person, like a no nonsense person, in the moment, of course, don't say anything. Like just be very restrictive in terms of what you're saying. But then if they're open to playing cognitive games and like sort of freeing up each other's minds, it becomes sort of an interesting platform to sort of discuss ideas, like random ideas. So that is something that having friends like that is interesting. I do have a bunch of friends like that, so the lucky to have those friends. Where yeah, I don't kind of hold back. I just actively ramble like this, and they kind of entertain it. They also participate, so that's kind of decent. I do not know if they talk shit about me behind my back, if they're like this guy is just like on something, he's like smoking something all the time. I do not know if they do that behind my back, but then yeah, in front of me they're like of course they're like fine enough, so they're like accepting enough, and they give it their time. So okay, uh they're like pretty busy people, and like if they're allocating like half an hour to like just rambling, uh, they probably find it kinda worth it. Otherwise, they would have not hung around. So that's kinda decent. So I guess that's a good indicator. So like attention is kind of good indicator of if they find it worth it. So that's kind of one thing. Uh, what other things? What are the other parameters that help you decide what's worth saying, what's not worth saying? So this is kind of nice. We have, rather than explicitly charting out the predicate of what's worth saying, and mapping it to truths and falses, we have sort of gone down into breaking the factors that influence the predicate. Like what are the weights that affect the different parameters that lead to like what's worth saying or what's not worth saying. So rather than explicitly talking about situations and allocating truths and falses, uh, yeah, we are actually dealing with what are the factors that could help you decide in the moment what's worth saying, what's not worth saying. So carrying a predicate with you, a heuristic with you, is much better than carrying a map with you, a hash map with you. So that's an evolution. That's an evolution in the argument itself over the past what, like 5 or 6 minutes. So that is an actually that I think that is an actually important session for me, in the sense of like I cognitively evolved from uh, how I even see the question in like explicitly mapping different scenarios to what's worth it, what's not worth it, to actually mapping a worth identifier, to actually building a worth identifier or worth predicate that helps me identify what's worth it in the moment. So there's that. So that was a good progress. That's kind of good progress. Uh, there's of course a whole bunch that goes into it. Whole bunch more that goes into it. It's going to be very incomplete in the span of like 25 minutes. But but uh, I think I'm kind of satisfied with how this went, in the sense that my mind is clearer of why I do what I do out here on Conver, and just like a 25 minutes of rambling helped me get back in the mood of like, yeah, talking again and again every day. So that is something I think I can continue again now. For a while I was like really confused as to like how should I even carry this forward. Like it's just getting repetitive. Like how do I even is there I thought I had like started exploring cognitive limits of my own mind, in the sense that it's just the same stuff again and again. I probably needed a stylistic do-over. So a big break is kind of just that. But then the inertia that you gather by inertia, not to gather, but the lack of momentum that you accumulate uh, over time by not posting, and like you need that kickstart to overcome that inertia, inner hold on, initial inertial holdbacks, like to overcome that. That is kind of the whole point of like not taking breaks. But then taking a break is also important to like for stylistic do-overs and like a little bit of change and like actually keeping it fresh. So I think we've done that. So I think it happened for me today. So I feel kind of fresh in terms of like how the next SASs are gonna be. It's SAS X10. So next one's gonna be like what, SAS X11, and yeah, next one's gonna be the actual SAS X11. So that's kind of nice. I think that is it. This is Raj. This is Raj. I do computer science stuff as well. That has also been I have been facing similar issues like I've been facing on Conware, about having about judging my ideas, in the sense that should I be creating videos about this? There's already so many videos on this out there. There's so many opinionated stuff out there. There's so many educational things out there already on this. What am I presenting that's new? Now there probably it is better that I think that, because I do not want to waste my audience's time. But then in here, uh, the question of wasting time in itself is kind of odd, because like the audience that listens to this kind of content, they're beyond the notion of being busy or time when they hear this kind of stuff, because like they hear it for different reasons. There I do respect their time and everything, and of course, so there I have to be more I have to scrutinize my thoughts more, in the sense that am I really saying things worth saying? So that is something that I'm dealing with actively there. So that block, that inertial kickstart, that kickstart over that first inertial hurdle is probably going to be kind of more. I don't know. I'll have to be more aggressive there. I'll probably, yeah. I don't know. Do I ease into it, or like do I be aggressive? I don't know. I have to figure that out. But yeah, this was Raj. I do a whole bunch of computer science stuff on the Bitmage. So a lot of terminology, or a lot of vocab that you see me that diffuses into my conversations out here is because I'm sort of an engineer, a software engineer by day, by job, by my profession. No, what do I say? By craft. I'm a software engineer by craft. No, 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 no. How do I say this? I'm an engineer. So a lot of stuff that a lot of terminology that comes in here is like mostly influenced by that. Uh, yeah, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, uh, do check out the bitmage.com as well. Conware is like, well, you'll get an index into all of the videos. They're LLM generated summaries of the transcripts and stuff. So there's a good handy way to see how my sanity or serendipity has evolved over time, or like how it has traversed or like wandered over time. Uh, I think that's that. Here, what I do here is try and be serendipitous, in the sense that I try and open up my mind, and I like truly intellectually abstractly dissect how the human mind kinda thinks about different things. So I do not read books. I do not read books for these videos. I of course read books. Okay, reading books is a good thing. You should read books, but I do not read books for ideas for these videos, because I do not feel like that's worth saying. Reading a book is something that you should do for your own self and not for creating content, is what I feel like. So okay, that's again a very personal thing, but yeah, okay. So that's that. That's what I've been up to. Okay, I did not even talk about what I've been up to, but that's what I've been up to for the past 25 minutes, 30 minutes, as to like what's worth saying. Was this worth saying? I think so. I think so. I think this was a good session. I think we found a lot of things about what's worth saying, what's not worth saying. We went on to a higher order question. We were doing it very implicitly before, as in like seeing situations and mapping them to truths and falses in terms of if they're worth it. But then slowly realized that what we're doing is engineering the predicate itself, and like we went to that, and like we're like aware of it now, that like what's worth saying, we should not think about the what, but the worth decider, so the predicate. So that's kind of nice. That's like a decent progression. That was a value addition. I did not expect that. SaaSes usually do not have a value addition, so that's something that's nice. Uh, I think that's enough for today. A 30-minute mark is like a decent mark. So have a good one. See you in the next one. I will not say hopefully soon. Most definitely soon. Highly probably soon. So it's like soon is like soon. Because like right now I'm in the mood again of like just picking up topics in the moment itself and practicing rambling about them in the moment itself. So I do not have to invest a lot of effort into these. So it's like these are like low effort stuff that turn out to be probably higher quality than if I scripted these out. So that's kind of nice. Have a good one.